Hello everyone and welcome back to my review show. Today I'm going to be doing another 3 volumes part of the series of One Piece. The next 3 volumes I'm doing is volume 10, 11, and 12 of One Piece, done by Oda. Alright, this is the last volume, Vid Entertainment down here. Viz Media, V-I-Z. This is the last volume that they put out in a 3-volume set. So every other one after this is just volume by volume. But they put 4 out like this, like 3 volumes each. And this is why I got them in the beginning. Like, this is pretty cool what they do. I like it when they do this. But Viz has been known to do this, and but they don't do it for like the whole series. They just give you like here's like what, 12 volumes all together in like 4 different books. Like, you wet your palate to see if you want more. I like that. But here you go. This is the last 3 volumes. Everything after I do this, I'm going to just take it volume by volume. After this, I have to talk about so much. I pass so much stuff that like it should be said, but I just don't mention it, just because of the time frame and everything. But I don't want to keep missing this stuff. I just do it. I do it like this because that's just the way it came. It could be easier. And it gets by most of the early stuff quickly, so I don't mind it now. But after this, I'm going to be going by volume, just so I don't try to forget anything. Now, let's go ahead and start this. I wrote a bunch of notes down, so let's do this. The volume 10 starts off, you get your fights, like at the very end of volume 9, is basically Luffy gets up to Arlong and the fishmen, and they start to fight, you know. So we got this. We got the fight scenes with this. So far, we got Sanji versus somebody, Kurobi. I do believe is his name, Kurobi. Sanji versus Kurobi. Zoro, or Zolo, if you have the American version like I do. Zoro versus Hachi, with his sword style, you know. Usopp versus Chu, I'm guessing, C-H-O-O. And he's like lip smack all the time. And then you got Luffy versus their big badass guy, Arlong. So there you go. That's pretty much all of volume 10. Like, it was pretty much simple enough. Everything was able to end in that one volume. So you got all those fights and the ending. So that was a pretty good. If you just like everything just wrapping up by the end, that's good. That's a pretty good end of the wrap up right there. By volume 11, oh, I'm sorry, gosh, I can't believe I said that. That's not the end. That's not the end. Volume 11 is the end of Luffy versus Arlong fight. It's continued. Like, by the end of the last volume, they were started, but now this is the rest of the fight, legit fight, and the ending. So you get, I'm sorry, volume 11 is the actual end. I'm sorry. This is where, after the Luffy Arlong fight is over, they beat up a colonel who's obviously, he's not really a good guy himself for being in the Navy, but they beat him up for being a meanie and trying to steal what's not his. Navy shouldn't be acting that way, but they beat him up, and this is where Luffy actually gets his very first wanted poster, and his wanted poster is 30 million berries, which berries are money, is the money in this world. So 30 million berry wanted poster, that's pretty huge. And it even says in the manga that, yeah, the character who's writing is pretty huge for just jumping on board and getting a wanted poster. So Luffy has caught the attention of the Navy officially with this right here. This is where it starts with the Navy for Luffy. Now, the gang officially leaves now with Nami. We got all that story taken care of and all that backup and everything. So now the gang leaves for their next adventure. So now, besides Luffy, of course, the Straw Hats are Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji. Okay, so 5 crewmates: Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp. They head out to their next adventure. Really, the next island is Rogue Island, which they stop there for a couple of reasons. First, Luffy wants to see this island, but they need preparations, they need food, and they need equipment. So they stop there for that. But Luffy wants to see, this is the island where Goldie Roger was executed. So Luffy wants to go see, go look at the execution scaffold. And why he's there, like everyone separates to get supplies, and why Luffy is at the scaffold, he gets surprised by none other than Capt.Buggy and his crew. Now I've told you, and if you read, or if you've already been looking or reading through it, you should know already that in the previous chapters, in the beginning minis, like there's a splash page, and almost about maybe every other chapter, or like every chapter, there's like a little mini story, and it gives you like a 1-page part of that mini story. And so far, it's been like Luffy and stuff. Oh, no, sorry, not Luffy. Capt.Buggy, and with this mystery woman, where they officially show back up in the story, and this is where they show back up. Now they surprise Luffy and trap him inside the execution scaffold, which is basically a how can I not remember what this thing is? My mind has went blank for whatever reason. I should remember what this is, but anyways, it's just to cut off his head. Guillotine. Thank you. Guillotine. So Luffy's about to get his head chopped off by Capt.Buggy, and as fate would have it, Capt.Buggy gets hit by lightning, and Luffy's okay. That's fate. That is pure fate. I think that's what they're trying to convey in this story, is that's fate. He's not supposed to die here. Luffy's not supposed to die here. So there you go. They get chased by the Navy, which is also on this island, by the end of the volume. Yeah, they get chased by capt.Smoker and his number 2 right-hand lady, which is a swordsman herself, which her and Zoro fight each other on the island. They're like okay for a minute until they figure out, hey, they're enemies. But that's the very end of the volume. Volume 11 ends with they're running and capt.Smoker's right on their tails, like right now, just beginning the chase. So there you go. That's the ending of volume 11. Yeah, they get chased by the Navy guy, capt.Smoker, and his right-hand lady. Volume 12. This is the last volume in this 3-part volume I have. Volume 12. This is where you get the capt.Smoker chase. Chases Luffy, and then the chick chases like the rest of the crewmates. Well, capt.Smoker actually catches up to Luffy, and like, you know, he's ate the devil fruit, and he's like just smoke. He could just be smoke. So how is anyone going to defeat that? He easily catches Luffy. There's nothing Luffy can do about it. He's trapped, and right then, a mysterious man, a mystery man, pops up right behind the Navy guy and just tells him to let him go. And the Navy guy's like, "Oh crap, it's you." And he does what he complies. He lets Luffy go, and that's about it. You don't know who the mystery guy is, but from what my friend at Suicide Dive Wrestling tells me, I don't even think he said. I think he said he hasn't even shown back up yet. But he's like a major guy in the story. He's that much of a badass. But this is the only time you see him, and if I'm right, the man at Suicide Dive Wrestling said like he hasn't even showed back up in the story yet. And right now he's at like issue or chapter 670 or 671 or something. So, and this is only chapter through not even 100. So here we go, and they're being chased. Luffy gets away, obviously. He lets Luffy get away. They get back on their boat, and they flee. Obviously, they flee with all their equipment and everything they bought from the island, which they got stuff, food, supplies, and they're gone. Now, you get the little mini story. By the end of this volume, you get like the beginning of the mini story involving a whale, his friend, which is an old man that his head is like this. Looks like it's a flower, so this is a flower head man. Looks like a, I don't know, dandelion or something. And you also get the beginning parts of Baroque Works, Baroque Works, which these are just like bounty hunters and stuff from around the globe. But by the end of volume 12, they're on the next island that they're trying to go, the next adventure, and they're having a party. They're excited, but then Zoro gets attacked, Zoro gets attacked by all these villagers, which basically, it's like he thought this is the island of 100 bounty hunters, and they are after Zoro. So by the end of the volume, he's fighting 100, Zoro is fighting 100 bounty hunters himself. So that's the end of the volume 12. I mean, it's just a big, you have, just like that's how it ends. A big, drop off point about this is what's going on next chapter. But yeah, all in all, that's great stuff. The mini stories, the chapter by chapter mini stories, in the very beginning of the chapter, involves Kobe and Helmeppo. Helmeppo is you would know Kobe from what was that? It was that one chick, Alvida, who would always like pick on this Kobe kid, and then he decided he wanted to be a part of the Navy, and that's what he did. And then his friend is Helmeppo, and Helmeppo is Captain Axar Morgan's little brother, or like, yeah, I think it's bro. So it's their story working on the ship of the Navy, and then slowly they get, it involves Axar Morgan like taking Helmeppo hostage, and then letting Helmeppo go, and the other Navy guys try to take him out and all this stuff. But that's the mini story for these 3 volumes. Other than that, I think that's about it. Like I said, it ends. Volume 12 ends with Zoro fight in the middle of a fight with 100 bounty hunters. That's what the island is. And Baroque Works. These 100 bounty hunters are Baroque Works. Like, they're just agents of Baroque Works, which we'll get more into them the next volumes coming up, because this is the mini story before the big story, which involves, well, I don't even want to say. We'll get to that. But it involves Baroque Works and agents of. So, but yeah, that's about it. Like I said, the next one I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be finish these off volume by volume until I catch up with a certain suicide dive wrestler. So that's it. I hope there's nothing I missed. If there is, please, you know who you are, let me know. Hope you guys liked the video. Remember, One Piece, Eiichiro Oda, 10, 11, 12. I hope you guys liked it. I will be back again soon to do this volume by volume. Leave any suggestions, questions, comments down the bottom. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can, as always. And thank you guys. You have a great day. Bye.